Welcome back to Man Down Sports. Let's let some of y'all get in here real quick, man. We live. We live on YouTube and we streaming live on Rumble for the first time. I'm trying that site out. So y'all can head over to Rumble. We'll be doing a little bit of stuff over there as well. But yeah, 4-2, the Nuggets go down in the first round. Minnesota was able to close them out on their home floor without Anthony Edwards, lost him to hyperextended knee. No DiVincenzo, which was playing phenomenal, lost him to Achilles injury. Probably won't see him at all next year. Then they got news that Kyle Anderson, slow mo, was sick, so he was out of the game. Somo, who dropped 43 points on them, the game that DiVincenzo and Edwards got hurt, he was able to carry them over the finish line with 43 points. He was out, injured as well. So really the T-Wolves were down to 8 players, and the T-Wolves was able to come down without their best player, without one of their players that was the best off the bench in DeSumo, and without DiVincenzo, who was another starter who was playing phenomenal. Even though Denver was missing Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, you still got their top 2 players, which is Jokic and Jamal Murray, and you would think that would work. It's a lot we got to talk about. We're going to get into it. But first and foremost, this episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code Man Down Sports and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Plus, now that it's football season, you can follow Man Down Sports as we reveal our favorite picks from week to week. Like I said before, pick your favorite player, pick higher or lower, choose your dollar amount, and win some money. It's just that easy. Make picks, win money. We also want to thank Underdog Fantasy for partnering with us, and we want to thank you for helping the channel out by using Man Down Sports on Underdog Fantasy. All right. How do we start this, right? How do we start this? First and foremost, bro, man, what do you start? Let's start with, because I don't even want to get to Nikola Jokic yet. Let's start with Jaden McDaniels. Oh man! First and foremost, he played phenomenal basketball. I mean, he scored 30 plus points tonight. I mean, he shocked me because when like I said, when he talked that talk, gave them all the bulletin board material that they could stand, I'm thinking that, man, this is a championship core of Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and Jamal Murray. They got to respond to that. Like, this is supposed to be the best player in the league. You got to respond to that, and you got to do more than just try to push people and bait them into texts and stuff like that, which Nikola Jokic did again tonight, thinking that he was going to get somebody out of the game. But they didn't step up the way they're supposed to step up. And I knew something was weird about the way that, because they tried to ask them and stir the pot. Reporters was asking them, man, what you think about what Jaden McDaniels said? I didn't like none of their responses, all the way down to the coach. I didn't like none of their responses. I was like, man, where's the real brother stuff at? Where's that talk at? And I was like, man, they about to get punked. They're about to get punked. And that's what happened. I mean, this dude told you what he was going to do. Like, he came to his front door and he said, I'm going to come in your house. I'm not even going to tie you up. You're going to watch me steal everything out of here, and you ain't going to do nothing about it. Just sit down. And then he came in and actually did it. Geek Show, what's up, brother? He came in and actually did it. The T-Wolves came in and actually did it. And then McDaniels wasn't just a spectator that was talking trash and was waiting for his big dogs to go do everything. He actually came in here and did most of the damage, man. Like, you can't script it better than that. Like you can't write it better than that. Like what a way for it to go down 4-2 at that. It could have been 4-1 if everybody didn't get injured. If Anthony Edwards didn't get injured and DiVincenzo didn't get injured, it could have been 4-1. This could have been a gentleman's sweep. And I think Denver won the first game. So and all it took was them to just, all right, man, we're gonna make a assertive effort to make sure we get in the paint and get to the rim. And I lie to you not, bro. All the rim runs and the dribble drives and everything they did in the paint, I can count on one hand, and I won't be using all 5 fingers, but I can count on one hand how many times Jokic had his hands high in the air and jumped to contest a shot. Like he just does not do it. He just does not do it. He swipes at the ball, sometimes, he'll swipe at it, or he'll move out of the way and just start boxing out someone. Like, he'll give you the layup, but box out. So I guess in his mind, he was like, well, I got to do something. I'm not going to contest the shot. I'm not going to hard foul him. I'm not even going to put my hands up. If I can't swipe at it, I just move and box out. Hopefully, someone like Aaron Gordon or Peyton Watson will just drop out of the rafters and block the shot for me. That's what they used to do. When they had a 6'11" Michael Porter Jr. and a 6'10" Aaron Gordon, and they both could get to the rim with long arms and help protect in rotation, and then you get a 6'8" Peyton Watson with long arms as well. Those 3 guys was perfect for Goldmine. We definitely are eating chicken nuggets tonight. Straight chicken nuggets, right? But those guys rotating over would do the dirty work for Jokic. I kept trying to tell people this. Like they brag about his own off minutes, but his own off minutes for the 9 times out of 10 coincide with the defenders. Like you're going to go sit down with the defender. We can't have Jokic on the floor without our defenders out there with him because it won't work. So Aaron Gordon what usually happens when you look at how they do their substitution patterns, when Jokic goes sit down, they'll usually take Aaron Gordon out and let Jamal Murray stay in the game. And that's how Jamal Murray get his points, because he get to be the number 1 while Jokic is resting. He get to take the shots that he want to take. He get to run the offense the way he want to run it. Right. So what's up, X-Man? And that's when he run his numbers up. He run his point. Like he scores when Jokic is out there as well, because they do 2-man ball, a lot of dribble handoffs and a lot of screen and roll, and Murray get his points off of coming off of Jokic's screens. But then when Jokic goes sit down, he get to go play one-on-one. He's a one-on-one basketball player. Like that's his first instinct. One-on-one, you can't. He got a lot of shit with him with the ball in his hand, right? So that's his thing. And Kobe used to do that too. Like he'll run the triangle offense. He'll run things through Shaq. He get his points here and there. But when Shaq goes sit down, Kobe get to do his thing. That's kind of how they got it going on. But they usually sit Jokic down with Gordon, because when it's time for Murray to rest, they'll bring Jokic back out with Gordon. That way you always got a safety valve defensively for Jokic, because we really don't want Jokic in none of these actions, and we really don't want Jokic protecting the rim, because he can't and he won't. So I want you to, everyone who keep talking about these Jokic on off minutes, I want you to pay close attention to who's going off the court with him during his on off minutes. And there's nothing to brag about anyway. If you want to tell me how good, like say for instance, you got a girlfriend and you telling your mom, I think I want to marry her, and your mom say, well, what's good about her? And then you start talking about how bad her friends are, or her friend, man, she got this friend that's trash, and that don't tell me how good she is. Like, tell me how good she is. You can't tell me how good something is by telling me what's around them is bad. And that's what a lot of Jokic fans and Denver Nuggets fans do. Hey, tell me how good Jokic is. Well, let me tell you what happens when he's not on the court what happens to his teammates. Let me tell you how bad his teammates are. His teammates is trash. His teammates can't do this and they can't do that and they can't. Well, you're not telling me how good this dude is. That's not telling me nothing. Like, tell me how good he is, right? And Murray wasn't checked out. Murray was getting a heavy serving of 6'9", 7 foot wingspan that's quicker than him and was bodying him up. And he was just in handcuffs. You got to give McDaniels credit for what he was doing. He wasn't checked out. It was he couldn't solve the problem. He got a problem and he didn't have the answers to the test. He didn't have the answers, Sway. How? I mean, you got to give the props to McDaniels for that. You got to give the props to Gobert for what he was able to do to Jokic. They took both of their two-headed monsters out. Forget what the numbers say. When you watch the game, Gobert and Murray did a hell of a job on them. They didn't have to double Jokic at all. What a luxury that is. Remember that used to be the game plan for LeBron James. He's such a great passer. And that's why you got to study history, especially if you're a coach or a player. You got to study history because there's nothing new under the sun. We've had almost 80 years of NBA. There's not much that can change unless you change the game. Unless the game is like the things about basketball that is a constant. It's always been 10 feet. It's always been 90-foot court. You know what I mean? Like everything has remained the same. And I think the changes that happen is, they made the paint wider at one point. Then they put a 3-point line there. But for the most part, nothing has really changed with those things, with the court and the rims and it's 5 men on the floor and all that stuff is been the same. So there's not a lot of variation that can happen. So we've probably seen everything we can see. That, I mean, of course, there's going to be some innovations and some changes in offenses and defenses and maybe some rule changes, but for the most part, you can study history and get answers that you need. And that's why these new superstars, especially people like Kobe Bryant, would always call Jerry West and would always call Kareem, would always call Magic, would always call Jordan. Because, hey, man, look, I'm seeing it. That's why Anthony Edwards had a conversation with Michael Jordan this summer. You have to go back and you have to do your due diligence and talk to these people that's still here that can give you advice. That's why Wemby went to work out with Kevin Garnett this summer. Like, you have to go, like, the answers are there. You can go get them. And I say all that to say this. Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, they did what they were supposed to do. They lost game 1, and they seen that, man, this is no, we got to be able to figure this out. And the answer was, stop shooting threes, go to the hole. They don't have a rim protector. Go to the hole every single time. You would get a layup. You're just going to get an easy, clean shot with no contest. You just got to make them. You're going to get them. You're letting them off the hook if you don't go down there and you shooting threes, right? So that's the thing on Minnesota side, right? Let me see what I'm getting for these comments. I just got a super chat. I look at this super chat real quick. Davey, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. We were told Jokic is the best center in NBA history. Well, apparently Eric Gordon is more valuable to Denver than Ant and Dante to Minnesota, since they can't win without two of their best players. I mean, that's a good point. They did say that Jokic was a top. Well, they forget top center. They was already ready to conclude that. They were talking in terms of him being the best basketball player we've ever seen, like the GOAT, like better than Michael Jordan, better than Kareem, better than Kobe. Like that's what they were saying. They were saying that nonsense. Stan Van Gundy, George Karl, and a bunch of other people that's in the Denver media. Woody Page, they got a podcast together. Woody Page, George Carr, and a couple of other dudes affiliated with Denver. I seen a clip of it when they was talking about there's no doubt that he's the GOAT. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Like these are real people saying this. And I'm like, when you think about basketball, right? I mean, like it's two parts of it. There's offense and defense. So offense is offense, defense is defense. When you put both of those things together, that's what basketball is, right? Then furthermore, a basketball player is one thing. An offensive player, a defensive player, but an actual basketball player is both of them. So when you think about that, in order for you to be the most valuable player, you have to show value on offense and defense for the most part. Maybe 1 year that's like 5 candidates and all 5 of them don't play defense, or it's 5 candidates and the one that plays offense and defense, maybe his team don't have enough wins, so he's not a good candidate to be the MVP. Maybe he would lose to a one-way player. But for the most part, it should be impossible for a player that's elite on offense and elite on defense to not be more valuable than his team to a guy that's only elite on offense. Like, think about that. Like, if I have major value to my team offensively, just like all MVP candidates do. When you look at Wemby, very important to his offense. Jokic, very important to his offense. Luka, very important to his offense. Shea, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, all the MVP candidates are very valuable to their offense. They're the most valuable player to their offense. There's no MVP candidates that's just playing defense. For the most part, they all show their value on the offensive end. So let's put that on the shelf because they all show value in different ways. Some people score a lot and distribute a little bit. Some people score a little, well, I ain't gonna say a little bit. They all score 20 or more, but some people score less than the other candidates. Like, say, for instance, Luka and SGA, they both was over 30. But Wemby was on the low end at about 24. A couple of years that Jokic won it, he was at about 24. He wasn't at that 30. You know, he just got up there to the 28s and 29s, you know, but before he was like, you know, I got to get these assists. You know, I got 9 assists. I'm averaging about 22, 23 points. And just because it was a triple-double or close to a triple-double, they see that as great value more than someone who's averaging 30.6 assists. So when you think about 30.6 assists and then 24 points and 9 assists, in people's mind, once they see that triple-double or you close to that triple-double, their brain short circuit. They can't think about nothing else, right? So that's what really has been happening. They see Jokic at a triple-double average or close to a triple-double average and just stop everything. Give them the MVP. But they're forgetting so many other factors. They're forgetting the fact that, for one, these other candidates are scoring more points. They're still assisting as well. The difference between someone like SGA's 6 assists and Jokic or Luka's 10 assists is 4 assists. The difference between SGA's points, 30, 31 points a game, and Jokic's 25, I think this year was 28. It's a difference between that as well. So there's a difference in the scoring and then a difference in the assists, right? But 6 is not that close to a triple, and SGA is not averaging double-digit rebounds either, so he's not nowhere near a triple-double. But here's what he makes up at for it, because they both show value on offense. And you just can't show value. You also have to show what that value is leading to. Like when you write certain things, I don't know if you ever been like a manager or if you've ever been in the military and you write evals or whatever. When you write an evaluation, you just can't throw an empty action out there without some type of result. If you want to show impact, right? So to show impact, don't throw an empty stat out there. Tell me what that stat led to, right? Like if I say I'm a great leader and I say, hey man, I led 15 guys that work for me. I got a team of 15. I lead 15 guys. Okay, where did you lead them? What did y'all do? Right. So if I run a business, I got 15 guys that work for me, but we ain't did no jobs. Like we do construction. Oh, you lead a 15-man crew? What buildings y'all done? Oh, we ain't done no buildings. So saying I led 15 guys without the back end of, okay, where did you lead them? That's something that people do in the MVP race, and I don't understand how people keep getting away with it. So I scored 28 and average. Well, I averaged 28 and 10 and 12. And then they just stopped, period. Okay, you averaged that, and then what did it lead your team to? Well, it led my team to the number 1 rated offense, the number 1 rated defense, the number 1 record in the league. Oh, that's big. That's big impact. That's big results. But when you say, oh, I averaged a triple-double, and what did it lead to? It led us to the 4th seed, one of the worst defenses in the league, but it led us to a top-rated offense. Triple-double leading to the top-rated offense, but the worst defense. And you 4th in the West in wins versus a player like SGA, where what he does offensively and defensively led his team to the best record in the league, the number 1 rated defense, and like a top 10 offense. So I'm top 10 offense, number 1 defense, number 1 record. That's what my leadership and my numbers did for my team. So you show what the person did, and you show what it led to for his team, so I can know what the impact is. But they do MVP so backwards with the media, because what they would say is, well, he don't have the number 1 record in the league because his team, it's got to be his team, because I don't understand how somebody this good can't have the number 1 record in the league. So it's got to be his team. Maybe his team suck, and they just throw that out there. Oh, his team suck. Just every single time. Notice everyone who almost averaged a triple-double, the fan base of his team suck. Tyson said SGA is not. He said SGA is not close to the best defensive player on this team. Well, there's nobody else on his team in the MVP race, so wow, that wouldn't matter. All the candidates for MVP, Wemby is the best defender. Jaylen Brown is the 2nd best defender. SGA is the 3rd best defender. Then you got Cade, who's probably the 4th best defender. And then you got Luka and Jokic, who are the only MVP candidates who are horrible defenders, who have no value to their team defensively. They're actually a negative to their team defensively, as we just seen in this series. So saying that SGA has better teammates that defend than he do has nothing to do with the MVP race. SGA is competing against MVP candidates, not his teammates. Right? That makes sense, Tyson? Does that make sense? You want me to say it again? SGA is competing for the MVP versus other MVP candidates. Jokic, Luka, Jaylen Brown, Wemby, Cade. That was his competition. He's the 3rd best defender out of all those guys. I'm so confused. Why? I'm so confused. That don't even make sense. That don't make sense, man. So, hey, which leads me to Jokic. Let's get to Jokic. Triple-double basketball ain't gonna save you. Shout out to my boy Scott in the comment section who gave me the new name for triple-double basketball, because saying triple-double can be a tongue twister sometimes. Saying triple-double can be that, right? So we're just gonna put triple and double together, and we go call it trouble. So trouble ball, playing trouble ball. It didn't help the bros out. Now, when you tell someone that trouble ball it's not good basketball and it's not conducive. It's not the most conducive offense you can run for winning. What people would tell you is, well, he won a ring already. And what I would tell them is, okay, well, confirm it by winning another one. Let me know that there wasn't a fluke. Because all I've seen you do ever since you won that ring was go out in the first round this year, go out in the second round last year, go out, and I think you went out in the second round the year before that. You probably had 2 second round exits and 2 first round exits since then. You ain't never won 60 plus games. Something's not right. You have to tell me what's wrong. You got a coach fired. You traded one of your top players to try to get more. Like you've done so many things. You bought in Russell Westbrook. I don't know why you did that. You didn't let him run point. You turned him into a corner shooter. Like how can someone that's so good distributing the basketball, who's been an all-star and top 75 player at the point guard position, got as many as triple-doubles as you do, probably more. He can distribute the ball as well, and he's a point guard. How is it that guy come to your team and you can't even let him run point coming off the bench? So Jamal Murray can't run point, and neither can Westbrook. And Westbrook is about to be in the Hall of Fame for doing just that. Right? So no one can tell me that Jokic is playing trouble ball out of necessity, because every time he gets a guy that can take him off playing trouble ball, they turn that guy into a corner boy. Right? You turn him into a corner boy. So trouble ball is what they want to do, which means he's stat padding. He wants those stats. He won't give up being a fat point guard. He won't give it up because he wants the stats. He wants the glory. And that's why he keep going home. Like Cade just had a trash team in Detroit, and it was so easy to build a contender around him, even though it looked like they about to go home in the first round too. But they got 60 plus wins this year. Jokic ain't never done that. But it was so easy to take Detroit from trash to treasure with just a couple of tweaks. And you see defense is their calling card. It was so easy to say, okay, we got this young rookie, Jason Tatum, and this second player, Jaylen Brown, this second-year player, Jaylen Brown. Let's go ahead and get rid of Kyrie and build around him. And boom, next thing you know, they getting 60 wins. They in the conference finals. They in the finals. They win the finals. You get what I'm saying? So it wasn't hard to build around Tatum and keep them consistently winning and making deep playoff runs. So that's Cade, that's Tatum. Then you go to daggone Wemby in San Antonio, went from trash to treasure this year. That was trash last year. So much so they got a top 3 pick in Dylan Harper. That was trash. And then they turned the team into a 60-win team this year who's making a deep playoff run. So you look at all those guys who have defense. Like when your best player calling card is defense, it's going to bleed into the rest of your team. Notice players who are really good at defense, like Jordan, Kobe, Wemby, Dwight, or whoever the case may be. Notice when your best player is a either good, great, or elite defender. I even drop it to good, great, or elite defender. Notice when you have those guys, the team usually play good defense. I mean, it rolls downhill. It happens a lot. Tim Duncan was a great defender. I wouldn't say Ginobili and Parker were great defenders, but San Antonio had great defensive teams. If Duncan is going to go all out on defense, as a guy that's under him, you can't not go all out. And when Popovich gets on Tim Duncan, when he lets a play get by him, man, if you get on the best player like that, then I know I got to be on my P's and Q's. But Jokic consistently sucks on defense. And when his players see that, like, dang, you are a leader, You just gave up on that play, gave up a layup. Coach ain't said nothing to you all season when you do that. At some point, me running through a brick wall for my best player is going to slow down. Eventually, I'm going to stop doing it because you're not running through a brick wall. You asking us to do something that you are refusing to do. Your best player has to do it first. You can't suck on defense, dog, and lead grown men. And that's why he only got one ring. And that's why he only got one finals appearance. And that's probably why he's going to retire that way as well. That's probably what's going to happen. So it puts new understanding on what we're really watching with Jokic. We're watching a stat pattern. We're watching a one-way player. We're watching a lazy defender. And there's no center that's in the top 5 who didn't play some type of defense. Shaq, if he's in the top 5 for your centers, Shaq made second team all defense 3 times in his career. And you know he ain't giving up no layups. He at least blocking shots, right? So Shaq was an all-time great defender. He was an all-defensive player. You know Hakeem was a great defender. He probably made double-digit all-defensive team. Tim Duncan, double-digit all-defensive teams. Those are great big men. Bill Russell, you know that was his calling card, all-defensive team. I mean, I can keep going. Who's all in? Oh, Dwight Howard, all-defensive team. Several. Like these big men, Garnett, these big men play defense. They block shots. They move their feet. They took it serious on the other end. They didn't give up layups. They hard fouled. They brought intensity on that other side of the court. You just can't be motivated to play offense and get stats. If you could get an assist for playing defense, Jokic probably would do it. Right? So now you're going to force the Nuggets to go into this summer thinking about what's next. Why did we lose this? Is it the coach? You feel me? Is it the coach? Is it the roster again? Is it the roster that you traded Michael Porter Jr. to strengthen that bench up? And then decided not to play that bench this game. I didn't see Tim Hardaway Jr. Much in the second half. I seen Spencer Jones. I ain't see Tim Hardaway Jr. I didn't see Brown that much in the game at all. He got in the game, but I ain't see him much. Those are two. I didn't see Valanciunas at all. Those are the guys you got rid of Michael Porter Jr. for. You got rid of Michael Porter Jr. to make way for more money to get a bench, which you claim was the reason why you lost last year because you didn't have a bench. Okay, now you got a bench. Now what's the issue? And that cycle is going to continue just like it did for Luka. Everyone who plays this style who don't include defense in their repertoire, they want to address the elephant in the room. The elephant wearing a number 15 Denver Nuggets jersey. They want to address that elephant. The elephant is he is not a rim protector. He can't help us on the defensive end. We're at the bottom of the barrel team-wise as far as defense. That's not going to cut it. We're trying to win championships. That's what Nico figured out in Dallas. Man, I got to get Luka up out of here, dog. We not going to win like that. Even though we even got to the finals, there's no way, dog. Like, he's going to be fat, out of shape, and not play defense, and not get back on defense, and complain to the refs, and you get the ball hog, and we are like you're presenting problems to us by just being on our team, right? Because when you get a guy like Luka Jokic, let's start with Luka. You get Luka on your squad, automatically you have to acquiesce and play trouble ball. You have to play triple-double basketball because he won't play nothing else. He refused to play in any other offense. When he first came in the league as a rookie and he had what's the coach in Indiana? I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think his first name is Rick Carlisle. When he had Rick Carlisle And they had just drafted Dennis Smith Jr. the year before, and Dennis Smith Jr. was their point guard, and who had a decent rookie season, who I was looking forward to seeing play side by side with a young Luka. Could that backcourt grow together? And I think after about 5 games, they realized, oh, shoot, Luka got some point guard skills. They probably realized it at training camp. I'm pretty sure they did. But, they went into the season with Dennis Smith Jr. as the point guard, and next thing you know, I'm starting to see Luka on the ball more often. I think I started podcasting a little bit that year. And on one of the episodes, I told my boy Zoe, and y'all can ask Zoe, I said, they about to trade Dennis Smith. I knew for a fact they about to trade him. And he was like, nah, they ain't gonna trade him. 2 weeks later, he was traded. Right? 2 weeks later, he was traded. So I was like, dang. I called that one because I knew they wanted Luka to be the point guard and play this trouble ball. Because, at that time, Harden and Westbrook were the ones that was famous for doing it. LeBron a little bit, but when he went to Miami, he didn't do it as much. But he did it in Cleveland with Kyrie, and he did it in Cleveland before Miami. But for the most part, Harden and Westbrook won MVPs playing like that. I've always hated that style of basketball. Always. And Kobe did as well. He said, trouble ball, you can't win like that. It's too easy to guard. So my point is this. As soon as you get Luke on your team, the first problem that is presented to you is now I have to play trouble ball. I have to play triple-double basketball, which means there's not a lot of players I can put around him. Because when you play triple-double basketball, the main point of it is the paint needs to be wide open. So I can't go find him help in the form of a post player. So right away with Luke on your team, you can't have a center that wants to be in the paint and post up. So you got to solve that problem and say, all right, what kind of center can I give Luka? Well, you have to give him a center that's either going to be a screen and roller, who's a lob threat, i.e. A Tyson Chandler type, right? So in Dallas, they tried to find him a guy like that. They went and got JaVale McGee one year, but Jason Kidd didn't play JaVale McGee that often. Then they went and got Christian Woods. He was a guy that was a lob threat, but he also could shoot it. So he actually gave you the second part I'm going to talk about from the centerpiece, right? They went and got I can't remember all the guys they got. Of course, they got Porzingis and thought that was going to work, but he hated playing in that offense so bad that he wanted out of there, right? Then they drafted Derek Lively Jr. from Duke. Lob threat, athletic, young. Luka was happy. And he's on record saying, man, I just need 2 of those guys. Find me another one, because when Lively sit down or if Lively get hurt, I can't run my offense the way I want to because I don't have that dive, that screen and roll dive guy that's a lob threat that creates a lot of our action. And then they traded for Gafford. So now you got Lively and Gafford. So every time Luka's on the floor, he's got a lob threat with him, right? So that's the first element. I can't have a post player. I can't have a player that want to be in a post at center. He has to be a guy who is just here to set screens and catch lobs. Now, here's the issue with that. How many all-star level centers exist that just want to set screens and catch lobs? How many all-star level centers don't want to post up? Right? Do you think you could get Embiid to just set screens and catch lobs for Luka? All I do is set screens and roll. That's it. Set screens and roll. That's what Jackson Hayes is doing for the Lakers now. He went and found him another screen and roll guy that catch lobs. Jackson Hayes. They tried to trade for Mike Williams from Charlotte, but they rescinded that trade. Like, he's always going to go find a lob threat. He has to. So you limit yourself. So you can't get an all-star level center because don't know all-star level center want to play in no system like that. All right. So you handicapping yourself to a Jackson Hayes type or a Derek Lively type. And all you can do is screen and lob. Like, they're never going to throw the ball in the post to Lively. And he might not even have that skill, but now he'll never develop it. He'll never develop it because playing in this offense, they don't even want you to develop. So you already handicapped with that. If they can't find a screen and roll lob threat guy, they would accept a pick and pop guy that can shoot threes. And that's when Dallas was getting Maxi Kleber or Porzingis. They tried it with that. They was like, well, let's do the pick and pop because we need our center outside of the paint. You set screens up here, either you're gonna roll for the lob or you're gonna pop for the three. So either Maxi Kleber or Porzingis, Derek Lively and Gafford. That's your prototype center. And it drove Porzingis crazy because he has too much talent to be a pick and pop, and that's it. Maxi Kleber would do it because that's the only way Maxi Kleber go get on the floor. He can't do nothing else. So you either go get a guy who can't do nothing but shoot threes, and you start him because that's the only guy that's gonna be happy long term. If you go get a Porzingis who outgrows that role, he's gonna grow tired. Just like AJ Brown is growing tired in his role with Philly because he feel like he can do more. So if you ever go get a guy that's too good for the role you're giving him, he's going to complain about it. And he's not going to stay there long. And that's why Porzingis wanted out of Dallas, and that's why he was so frustrated. And that's why Rick Carlisle ultimately left Dallas. Right? And I can go on for every position. Like it's certain like it's guys that's going to spread the space the floor for you. And then on top of that, these guys never play defense. So all those guys have to be able to flip-flop on the defensive end and now guard 5 people with 4 people. So not only do they have to be 3-point shooters, either you're going to be a screen and roll lob threat or you're going to be a 3-point shooter that has to play defense to protect their best player from being exposed on defense. And that's your Lukas, your Hardens, and your Jokic's. So putting this player on your team as your best player is whatever problem you think he solved as far as distribution and scoring, he's bringing 2 problems with him. Liability on defense. Now I got to figure out how to scheme a defense that can guard 5 people with 4 people while this guy freelances and we hide him. Then you got to put zones in. Like, did you see Denver playing all this zone? They playing zone to hide their bad defenders, and still was getting cooked. And Terrence Shannon Jr. was still getting to hold that left hand, looking like a left-handed D Rose, blowing by people and getting up at the rim and dunking. And not one time that Jokic jumped. Not one time that Jokic jumped. Every layup attempt in that paint and every dunk attempt, Jokic ain't challenged not one of them. Imagine knowing that if you go to the hole, you can just lay the ball out there like a pizza, like a waitress bringing a pizza to the table. You can just put it up there and just jump. You ain't even got to go in two-handed and protect it or nothing like that. You ain't got to go in and expect body contact and brace for shock and then lay it in. You can just go up like a layup line. Like if you get in the paint, all you got to do is jump, hold that pizza, and just finger roll like Clyde Drexler. It's a layup line because they know that the 7-footer that's down there is not going to jump or put his hands up. Do you know how relieved that is on your brain when you know, dang, all I got to do is get past this one guy. If I get past the dude that's guarding me, I have a layup with that. Like, I don't even have to change my shot in the air. He's not going to jump. Like, I don't even have to jump and then pass it to the guy he rotated off of. If I get in the paint, it's going up. And that was for every player. That was for McDaniels. That was for Shannon Jr. That was Nas Reed. That was pretty much everybody except Mike Conley. Because he's a mouse down there amongst trees. Pretty much everybody who got in that paint, that was the rule. You're going to get a layup or a dunk. You're going to get a layup or a dunk. So these guys are causing problems by being the best player on the team. They have a problem to solve on defense, and they have a problem to solve on how they build around them because they limit themselves to certain players. Like, I just want you to think about these Hall of Fame players I'm about to name. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you about some Hall of Fame players in the Denver Nuggets offense. Do you think that they can go out and benefit by adding Dennis Rodman to the roster? Because I want you to know where Dennis Rodman wants to be at all times. He wants to be on the block on offense because he's an offensive rebounder. That's what he do. If Dennis Rodman was on this team, he's not going to shoot threes. He's not going to space the floor for you. You don't even have to guard Dennis Rodman at the three-point line. If Dennis Rodman was on the Denver Nuggets, he would not get in the game. That's a Hall of Famer that can't even play in this offense. It's limited. You have to be especially with Jokic, you have to be able to shoot threes and space the floor for this offense to even work. You have to be a shot maker. So someone that Michael Jordan won 3 championships with wouldn't even be able to play with Jokic. Then I go to Hall of Fame point guards. If Jason Kidd was on this Denver Nuggets team, he would be in the corner like Westbrook was shooting threes while Jokic run. Imagine as good as Jason Kidd is with the ball, he can't even play point guard. He would be doing exactly what Westbrook did when he was there last year. Jason Kidd is a Hall of Fame point guard who's probably a top 5 point guard of all time, would not be able to run point more than Jokic or have the ball in his hand is more than Jokic. He's not a scorer, so he's not going to run those same sets that Jamal Murray running because he's not coming off no pick, taking 5 to 10 shots from the 3 or from a long 2, which is what Jamal Murray do a lot. Like, he's not that type of offensive guy. So a coach would have to ask himself, if I got Jason Kidd on my team and Jokic, what offense am I running? And who am I putting the ball? Who hands am I putting the ball in? You're right. He would not let John Stockton do his job. What John Stockton will be on the bench in Denver. What Trey Jones barely got. He got in the game for the first time this series for about 3 minutes. That would be John Stockton in his offense. John Stockton, we don't need your assist. No, we don't need your assist. So you seeing the problems with and what people have been trying to say all this time. He's presenting problems, but he's putting up these stats and disguising it. Y'all blinded by the triple-doubles and the stats. So a prime Clay, but he's a shooter. He's a shooter. Yeah, prime Clay would fit with him, but y'all told me that's what y'all got when y'all traded for Cam. The Nuggets fans said, "Oh shoot, we got Cam." Y'all should have sent Michael Porter Jr. to Dallas for Clay. Then, if y'all wanted Clay, if y'all wanted Clay, y'all could have had Clay, but y'all thought y'all got a younger version of Clay who could still play defense and not as injured. Y'all got a younger, like y'all thought Michael Porter Jr. was a downgrade, and y'all upgraded when y'all got Cam. That's what y'all thought, because y'all said, "Oh, Cam play better D, and he shoot just as good as Michael Porter Jr." No, he don't. He don't shoot or score as good as Michael Porter Jr. Michael Jr. is a very gifted scorer with and without the ball. You know you got to be a gifted scorer when your whole life been the best player on your team all the way up to college. You was the best player, should have been the number 1 pick, but you hurt your back. You're so good that you were able to come in the league and all your points before was give me the ball, I can score on anybody. That's how you got your points before. But you was able to switch your games to play without the ball and average 20 points just off catch and shoots. No post-ups, no isolations, just stand in the corner catch and shoot, move without the ball, catch and shoot, come off a screen, catch and shoot, and the occasional, you might put the ball on the hole once or twice and get to the hole, fast break type stuff, right? And imagine being a guy like Kobe, who your whole life you getting into your bag and getting your shots off, and then one day someone says, "Hey, in this offense, all you gonna do is catch and shoot threes," and you average 20 that way. Right? And imagine it. Black Airman said, they have no argument. I love you and your passion for the game, but you already know. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I want some Jokic fans to call, man, because somebody explained to me, are y'all still blinded by the triple doubles? Do the triple doubles still have y'all blinded? Y'all still think that junk is legit? Y'all still like trouble basketball? Y'all still like trouble ball? Right? Somebody call me and tell me why the Denver Nuggets lost, and do y'all still think Jokic is the best player in the league and the best player in the world, and better than Hakeem, Shaq, Moses Malone, Russell, Wilt? Like, he's not better than none of them dudes. I got Moses Malone over him still. Right? Yeah, they are front runners. They ain't gonna call straight front runners, right? Moses Malone is all time better than Jokic, and he lucky daggone Derek Coleman didn't stay healthy and stay in shape, because Derek Coleman is better and have a better skill set than him as well. Derek Coleman was like that, and he played defense. It ain't no excuse for Jokic to suck this bad at defense, dog. It ain't no excuse for that. Murray is a coin flip. What else they got? Dude, they supposed to have Jokic, because I remember a guy named Michael Jordan who had Pippen, who was a coin flip, and Rodman, who wasn't going to give him no points, and Luke Longley that, yeah, you tell me where you rank Luke Longley at all time for centers. As a matter of fact, no, you tell me where you rank Luke Longley in the centers that played when he played. Like, if you take Luke Longley and you put him up against David Robinson, Rick Smits, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, like, you can go on and on with centers. Brad Daugherty, like, you can go on with centers that Luke Longley ain't gonna be able to touch. I like Luke though. I like when he got in the post. He was a professional. He had a nice little jump hook. He didn't get pushed around easily. He was tough. You know what I mean? Like, I love Luke Longley's game. Lonzo Mourning, yeah, there you go. Lonzo Mourning. It's just so many of them, right? Luke Longley don't stand a chance against those dudes. So, but these are the guys that Mike run with. Y'all act like when you got the best player in the league, he don't need perfection and perfect circumstances and perfect teammates in order to make it happen. Or else, what if I need perfection? If I need perfection, why have the best player? If I need perfection, I could just get a regular all-star. Why pay the best player if I can just get a regular all-star if I need perfection? If I need perfection, but you can't be the best player in the world, you need perfection. Right? Somebody said, somebody about to tell on them how old they are. I love this one, but he won't call in though. I don't know what this means. Kerr, Armstrong, Grant, and Kukoc. Well, first and foremost, Kukoc and Steve Kerr was not there at the same time that Grant and Armstrong was there. So that's the first mistake. You're trying to make it seem like they all was on the roster together. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, Steve Kerr is not like that. Steve Kerr used to play for the Cavs. Here are the guards they got in the game, and Steve Kerr never got in the game. First of all, Mark Price was their starter. Mark Price is the white version of Steph Curry. He shooted just as good as Steph. He's just as good with the ball as Steph. A better passer than Steph. And also a good leader as well. He just kept hurting his knee. Mark Price is like that. Now, if you said Mark Price was on Jordan's team, that's saying something. But Mark Price was the starter. They used to, they didn't play Ron Harper at point guard, but the Ron Harper was the other shooting guard. Craig Elo was another shooting guard. Gerald Wilkins was another shooting guard. So from the shooting guard standpoint, you had Gerald Wilkins, Craig Elo, Ron Harper. From the point guard standpoint, you had Mark Price and Terrell Brandon coming off the bench. Steve Kerr didn't even see the floor for the Cavs. So imagine the Cavs backcourt being so good with Terrell Brandon and Mark Price, Gerald Wilkins, Craig Elo, Ron Harper, that Steve Kerr couldn't see the floor. But the Bulls beat the Cavs that year. And then years later, Steve Kerr ended up on the Bulls, and he's seeing the floor for the Bulls. It's almost like when Eric Snow was a starter for the 76ers with Allen Iverson that went to the finals. Remember that team? Allen Iverson went to the finals where Eric Snow was the point guard. George Lynch was his small forward. Aaron McKee was the shooting guard, and Mutombo was the center. He went to the finals with that team. Just to put a idea of what that roster really was, when Eric Snow played on the Cavs with LeBron James, he didn't even get off the bench. But a couple of years before that, he started on a finals team with Iverson. But on the Cavs, he couldn't get off the bench. Right? So let that sink in. That'll give you an idea of how good Steve Kerr really is. Because I think that people who wasn't old enough to watch the league back then, when they hear about Steve Kerr now, they hear about his 3-point percentage. And for some reason, they think that he was Klay Thompson or Steph Curry's level good. No, he was not even Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver started for teams. Steve Kerr wasn't even a Kyle Korver. He never started for anyone. He couldn't dribble. He couldn't defend. He couldn't pass. He could only shoot. He was a 6'1" point guard who could shoot his butt off. I love Steve Kerr on those Chicago teams. But please stop throwing that name out like he's some type of all-star dog. He's not even Kyle Korver. Please stop throwing Steve Kerr out. And Armstrong was, he was good too. But come on, dog. Y'all throwing these names out like seriously? Cool coach. I like him as well. But seriously, come on, dog. Y'all throwing these names out like, I don't know. I don't know what y'all trying to say. Like that, that ain't that. That is definitely not that. But call in though. We can have the conversation. Kerr was the definition of a decent role player you would get for some minutes on the floor. Patson was better. Patson was 100% better. 10 times better. The Young Disciple said, stop it. You can call in too, Young Disciple. But yeah, y'all. Yeah, they was a solid roster, man. Nobody's saying they wasn't solid. They were solid, yeah. They were solid. But when I'm having a conversation about where your roster don't need to be perfect, where you don't need to have all these juggernauts and all of these top scorers and all of these all-star level players, like Michael Jordan was very good, and they hung their hat on defense. Like defense was part of the equation for them getting wins. It wasn't just scoring and offense. He was like, no, we're going to lock up too. And that was coming from your leader. So it rolled downhill. When that message is coming from your leader, it gets to everyone. But defense don't start with the leader for the Nuggets. Defense starts with the third best player, Aaron Gordon. So it rolls down under Aaron Gordon, but the guys above him don't get that message. That message has to come from your leader. You get what I'm saying? That message has to come from your leader, or it won't translate. It just won't translate. So, what I was explaining was that Michael Jordan, when he was the best, he had a roster like Judd Buechler, Judd Buechler, Steve Kerr. Like, you wasn't getting a lot of points from Rodman. You was only getting about 17, 18 from Pippen. You was getting probably about 10 from Luke Longley. Then Randy Brown would get in there and there. I mean, like, come on, it wasn't a team full of ringers. That's what I'm saying. But every time we make an excuse for Jokic, we're starting talking about all this help he need, which is what I thought y'all didn't like about LeBron. But now y'all saying the same stuff that LeBron fans said about him. Y'all saying about Jokic. Y'all saying this nigga need all this help. Murray not good enough. Murray didn't show up. Aaron Gordon this and this. It's just so much stuff. Y'all blame Michael Porter Jr. last year. Now y'all blaming someone else. Y'all blame Mike Malone last year. Now y'all blaming Rick Adelman. Like, when are y'all ever going to look at the truth and say, this dude don't defend, and that's a issue. That's a problem. You can't be a non-defender and think you're going to the finals. Caller from Philly, what's up?
What up, Miles T-Bird?
Man, what's popping, dude? I know this about to be good. Go ahead, let me hear it.
First of all, I figure I call to give you some love since everybody's scared to call. Because when you spitting that hot ish, nobody want to call now. They want to just talk their trash in the chat. They don't want to call, right? So let's talk about everybody's, greatest of all time center, Joker. Mel, I've been watching ball as long as you. I've never seen in my life an alleged all-time great, a superstar, get just absolutely like called out and punked like that.
Yeah.
Like, they was going at him and he gets out of the way. He don't try to block shots. I don't get it. Like, I've never seen a superstar get punked like that. Never in my life. Because back in the day, if you call somebody out, you're going to get roughed up, you're going to get beat up, and they're going to come at you, and you're going to come back at them. It was no, like, fight on defense. Jokic did what he do on offense. All right, cool. But you got called out for your defense, bro. Like, when are you going to step up and take that challenge? Like, jump off the ground, do something, slide your feet, do something. I've never seen a person, an all-time great, get punked like that. This was a complete punk job. And Jaden McDaniels, he backed it up. I actually like Jaden McDaniels now because he talked the talk and walked the walk.
Like, he did for sure.
Like, I just never see all this Joker talk. I don't want to hear it no more, bro. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
and you see what happens. And I said the last time I called, if you look at these low scoring games, like the teams that's losing, if everybody, this era is so much better, so more talented, and the league is so much tougher and harder and faster, why are they putting up 90 scores? Like, where's all this spectacular skill and talent? When the league actually starts playing defense, you actually see what people are made of. And a lot of teams.
And when teams start forcing you to play defense, now them legs tired. You see how many short jump shots Murray had?
Oh my gosh!
It took 5 games. Absolutely. It took 4 games for Jokic to be able to really actually do something, but he still couldn't hit no jump shots really either. Them boys was running, defending, sweating. I didn't see so much. Man, I ain't seen Jokic sweat this much before in my life, man.
Absolutely. They had picking them up full court, half court, everything. And let's transition into these Bulls, because that was my team. That was my era.
Yeah.
So I lived it. I was there. I watched it. I breathed it. The Bulls, their staple was, if you wasn't there and you didn't see, they were just this great super offensive team. No, their calling card was defense, right? Yeah. And they had one great scorer in Jordan. and everybody else was serviceable. Now, like you talked about Steve Kerr, right? Steve Kerr was just a dead-eye jump shooter off the bench. If you left him hoping, it's nighty-night. But Steve Kerr had to fall in line on defense. Steve Kerr, by no stretch, was a lockdown or even a good defender. What he was scrappy, and he gave it his all.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But and he gave energy, hustle, effort, 50-50 balls. He died for it. You know what I mean? He got concussed for it. But by no stretch was he a good defender, but he gave more effort, and he left it all on the field. And that Cleveland team, you forgot a point guard that was on that team. Remember, they drafted Kevin Johnson there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I remember that.
They drafted Kevin Johnson, and then they had to trade him.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Steve Kerr wasn't seeing the floor. Look, I just put something on screen, right?
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
19 minutes, 4 points,
3 of 20 from three. So he was on the floor just for threes. And this is what he gave. Now this graphic came up during game 5 or game 6. Right? Mm-hmm. This graphic came up when the series was almost over. And this dude gave him 3 for 20 from 3. And that's what he's on the floor for. But Michael Jordan was still able to pull this off with it. His second best player averaging 15 points and shooting 32% from the field. And Ron Harper having 2 games with 0 points and 1 game with 2 points. You get what I'm saying? So when
keep that up, Mel.
Okay.
Keep that up. Keep that picture up. Go ahead.
But when defense is part of your formula for winning, you don't have to have spectacular shooting. That's why when people say, "Oh man, Kobe Bryant in game 7 against Boston shot 35-40%. He was defending and he had 15-16 rebounds that game.
Yeah.
You don't have to be, I mean, you're supposed to be tired in the playoffs, especially the finals. You're supposed to not have legs. You're going to have bad shooting nights. But you have to find a way to win. Go ahead.
It's funny you bring that up. I'll talk about that for 2 seconds. Kobe, that last game, that's the game they won, right?
Yep.
The chip, right? That's all right. So Kobe, I think he had like 17 boards, but he had a bad shooting night. So he did what he had to do. He changed his game up. He was hitting the boards and, giving out dimes and everything. And he got interviewed after the game. And it was Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson actually said to him, like, I told you Boston was going to be your toughest challenge. He was like, how you feel after the game? Kobe is like, man, I'm drained. I have nothing left in the tank, right? All right, let me get back to the Bulls real quick. That's a funny picture of Jokic. I opened up by saying, and I'm glad you put that John up, the Bulls wasn't a great offensive team. They were a great defensive team. They were good offense, but they were super great on defense. If you look at they started Ron Harper when he came. He's a 6'6" point guard, right? He played the point, but they started him for his length, his defense, his athleticism. He had 2 bum knees. They were a huge team. So the point guard was 6'6". He would put them little guards in the post. Jordan was 6'6". So you got 2 big guards. You got Pippen at the 3 at 6'7" and 6'8", right? And then you had Rodman, and then you had Luke Longley. They were a long, big team. So it was their defense, and you put their numbers up, right? When you had it up on the screen, Pippen wasn't no great offensive player, and it was just one great offensive player. And the thing that really got them over the edge was their top-of-the-line defense and that triangle offense.
Yeah.
And that's what made them a great team. But if you break them down individual by individual, there's a whole lot of teams that was better than the Bulls. But the Bulls got it done because they might have been the greatest defensive team of all time, or top 5. You know what I mean? The way that they played and shut things down. And especially when they decide to full court press you. You remember that full court press they would put on you?
Yeah.
Yo, teams couldn't get the ball up half court. Mel, do you remember that?
Yeah. They used to get a lot of steals, dog.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They were, for sure, the greatest defensive team in steals that I've ever seen. The only team I seen come close to them on defense with steals all time is the OKC Thunder. Them dudes, when they turn it up, they turn it up on steals. So, but yeah, that's my take on everything with the Joker, with the Bulls, and I don't see, ain't nobody calling you, so I figure I calling you some love. You know, we always on the same page anyway.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts, man. No doubt, man. Appreciate the call, bro.
All right, talk to you.
All right, yep. You on the side, but call back. I think that was you from Texas. Yeah, man. For the most part, dog, it is what it is, man. People just gotta realize, you know, this is stuff that we already knew. You know, this is stuff that we already knew, but y'all get into the dance a little bit late. Like Mark Jackson said years ago, man. You know, y'all just not getting to the hospital, man. We done already had the baby, and we done already seen it and cut the umbilical cord. You know what I mean? It's like y'all late. We already knew this. We already knew this about Denver. We knew this about Jokic because we know basketball and we know what's supposed to work in basketball. Offense and defense supposed to be highly important in basketball. And when you only emphasize one, and when your best player ain't contributing on both ends, this is what you get. Young Disciple, what's up?
What's up, Brody?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I feel you, bro. I don't like the list you be having with the LeBron on that right hand side. You be killing me every time I see that list, bro. You be killing me. It's killing me, bro.
Hey, man.
Bro.
Hey, what was you at last week, man? You ain't watch and see the new studio.
I did watch it, bro.
I ain't see your comments.
Yeah, I said I big up it. I seen both days.
Okay.
It was Sunday and Monday, right?
I must have missed it. Did you like it?
Yo, I see somebody said that now you got to get me down there as a guest, bro. I'm gonna come when you invite me though.
Hey, man, hey, look, if you come, then you know what I'm saying, you'll be on the show. Easy day.
Hey, don't do me like old boy did Martin nigga on that. I get down there, bro, then I can't get in contact with you, bro. Don't do me like that, bro. Real talk, bro. Are you laughing, bro? I'm serious, bro. Don't do me like that, bro.
I wouldn't do that. Jay might, though. I wouldn't do that to you.
That's cold, bro. That's cold, bro. I already hear how it sounds, bro. You trying to set me up with an okie doke?
Nah, I wouldn't do that, dog. I wouldn't do that. But nah, but to the Joker thing, though, man. So you disagree with what I was saying about defense?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
I mean, what you saying makes sense. Like, if everybody had that skill set, like I'm saying, Joker don't have the defensive prowess or the. I understand what you're saying. When you're saying he can like do better with effort, but like. I mean, Jaden. When Jaden said what he said, nigga, to me, he wouldn't have said what he said, nigga. Like if that wasn't what it was, like so. And big ups to him, bro. Like I think he'll a superstar in the making, bro. Like for real.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying, bro. Yeah, he can show better effort and all that, but I just don't think he has the defensive capabilities of becoming what you want him to become. Well, I know you because I know you real ticked off, bro, with him like behind that MVP shit. Like, I mean, correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think that's why he drawing your ire is he has 3 MVPs and they try to put him in conversations he don't belong in.
Yeah, I'm big on false narratives. Especially when it's very popular and people are believing it in mass, right? So, you know, it might seem like I'm beating a dead horse, but I really need to get it out there in the atmosphere, and whoever is listening to me talk, at least they can get the real and get the knowledge. I just don't like to see people led down the wrong path and believe in something. I got to do my due diligence and say, no, that's not what it is. if people stop saying he was the GOAT and stop saying that he was better than Kareem and Shaq and Hakeem and all and Duncan and put, like you said, putting him in conversations he don't belong, I wouldn't have no pushback against it. Right?
But we know he not better than them though, bro.
Hey, tell that to everybody that's on TV, because they sure don't believe it. They sure think that he's in Michael Jordan's atmosphere. They think that he's
Man, no, they don't, bro.
Yes, they do.
Come on now, bro.
Hey,
bro.
George Carr said, you want me to pull up some video of them saying it?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but George Carr is delusional, bro.
Okay, Doris Burke. Like, it's a lot of people.
Doris Burke don't even.
It's a lot of people.
Matter, bro.
It's a lot of people that think that.
Bro.
But it's a lot of people that think that, though.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, if you hear people that's like saying, you hear people say stupid stuff all the time, bro. When you say Jokic don't even belong in the same sentence with Jordan, like that's as some. I'm saying, do you have anybody in the chat that agree with that?
That agree with that he don't belong in the same sentence. I think most of the people that's probably in the chat probably know that he's not a top 5 player of all time. And he's not a top 10 either, but it's a lot of people.
No, bro, he's not.
But there's a lot of people in the media that got him in the top 5, dog, or the top 10.
He's not top 20. Like,
I agree. I think he's a top 10 center of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. But yeah, top 10 center, like it's 10 every position. We get, so he can end up like between 30 and 50, or 20 and 50. Like yeah, I don't disagree with you on that. I just disagree with you what you having with LeBron. Bro, can you take LeBron off that list, bro? That's all I'm saying.
Hold on,
bro.
Which list you talking about?
Bro, you got LeBron on the same side as what's that girl name, baby?
Caitlin Clark.
The girl that what's her name?
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, bro.
But LeBron,
big bro.
But LeBron, I'm not gonna say he invented triple-double basketball, but for the modern era, LeBron made it real famous. Like Oscar might have invented it, but LeBron made it famous in the modern era. So they're playing his style of basketball.
So what you say about Grant Hill?
Yeah, he did it a little bit too, but it was different. He did it within the confines of a 90s style offense. It wasn't 5 men out. You know what I mean? So, you know. Yeah.
LeBron just added. It's just an add. That's just the.
I don't even know how LeBron came up with it. I think he found something in the Detroit series when he scored. What did he score? 18 straight, 20 straight, whatever he scored on there.
25 straight.
Man, I watched that junk. I was like, man, nobody got it. Like Tayshaun tried, Billups tried, Rodney Stuckey. Yeah. Nobody. I was like, man, this dude cannot stop this dude, man. They can't. He's blown by everybody. But I think that's when he realized, man, just give me the ball and, you know, we can just do high screen road. Nobody can stop me from getting to the rim. Just give me shooters. I think he really. I think that's when it was invented.
But that game, it wasn't no 5 out though. He was playing all ball that game.
Yeah, but
they was just coming down and throwing it to him though. Like you can say that.
Yeah, and
like, it was isolation.
I think that's when they realized that they could do that with him, and the offense the next season was a lot of that. You know what I mean? They just say, hey, man, just put some shooters around him, man, and let him get them screens and blow by people, and then he's gonna find them on the pass. But now Harden did it for years. Westbrook did it for years. Luka's doing it now. And Jokic is doing his own version of it because he's not a wing player, so he's doing it a little bit different. But for the most part, it's the same concept. So LeBron got to stay over there. But maybe I'll be nice and make another picture and put LeBron on both sides.
Yeah, do that, bro. Like I even take that, bro. That'll be even. Okay, yeah. I even take that, bro. I want to congratulate you, bro. And you called it. I seen you called it on the. See, I'll let you know, nigga, that I've been watching the show. You called it on the Lakers losing last night and winning in 6. I want to give you credit for saying
that. Oh, you think that's what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But it's a possibility that they lose Game 6 though.
It's a possibility. I walk outside, nigga, and see a cow jumping over the moon.
I don't even know if that's possible though. I don't think that's possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's possible. I don't understand it. We don't think it's possible, but it's possible though. Mm-hmm. No. But yeah, bro. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. Like your Jokic.
This man over here eating Skittles and pork chop on the phone. Lord have mercy.
Well, you can see me.
I can hear it. I know what Skittles and pork chop sound like.
I mean Skittles, bro, but I ain't eating no pork chop. This nigga tripping. This nigga just got what I'm eating. That nigga tripping. Hey, bro, stop all that, bro.
Hey, I'm talented, dog.
Hey, but, bro, this is what I want to ask you, bro. You think the Lakers can beat OKC?
No.
Hey, bro, I don't know, bro. I'm feeling a little different, bro. I think they can, bro. I think if they slow it down, get to the fourth quarter, I think LeBron can come through more clutch than Shea.
Yeah, you smoking dope or dog food. I don't know which one. See,
dope or dog food.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Bro, you're using my shit on me, bro.
Hey, all niggas do is get up and think about the 3 P's, man. The pussy, the pork, and the pipe. Which one you did today?
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Bro, you out of there, bro. Hey, bro, you out of there, bro. Bro, what the fuck are you talking about, bro?
You probably.
Bro, bro, I think they can.
And you done did all 3 today. You eating the pork now, and I you know what I'm saying. Hey, we all trying to do the other one, and
yeah, for sure.
And the way you talking, you had to hit that pipe. The way you talking,
bro, I just believe, bro. I believe LeBron can just get to the fourth quarter, bro. I think LeBron can top Shea, bro.
Boy, you crazy.
I'm calling it right now, bro.
Now,
I'm calling it right now, bro. Lakers in 6, bro.
Against OKC.
Against OKC. Lakers in 6, bro.
Hey, put some money on it. If you believe in it, you make some money off that one for sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards doing that anyway.
Easy day. All right, man.
Easy day. All right, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Pussy, pork, or the pipe, man. It's one of them. Oh, we got another caller. Caller from Texas.
It's the FCC calling. You and your 3 P's.
Hey, which one you partake in today? Is
the most important one? The healthiest one? The healthiest one?
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one, man.
You did too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, we need. Hey, one of them is a necessity. 2 of them we got to stay away from.
Exactly.
But every dude I know, man, they doing 2 of them at least. I don't know too many people.
Away from that.
Yeah, I don't know too many people doing all 3 of them.
25 years, bro.
Yeah.
That's one about 25 years ago, bro.
I stopped for 2 years, but I think last month I ate some pork, and I ate some pork this month too.
Felt different though, didn't it?
Nah, I ain't eating a lot of it. I ain't eating a lot of it.
No, you don't, man. Look, I can't. Nah. I mean, hey, love the way it tastes. It's whatever, but I know it ain't good for you. So
yeah, it's not good for you at all.
Get away from that, bro.
Yeah,
but yeah, bro. Hold the line, bro. Don't be putting that. Leave that bum on the left hand side of that daggone thing there.
Hey, y'all,
you need to move him to the top.
Yeah, boy, y'all would not
at the top of that.
Y'all would not let me move. I done seen T-Bird.
No,
I seen 2 other people in the comments. Y'all would,
everybody like no. Leave him. You leave him exactly where he's at. He's exactly where he needs to be. That dude, hey, he is the reason that this is happening.
it
because
is.
it's LeBron
Yeah.
ball. That's all.
That
Everybody else,
that's what it
they
is.
call it the treble ball or triple double. Is LeBron ball? Is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
But see the thing, and well, I say this way, he plays LeBron ball better than they do because he's fast. Well, at least in his day, he was faster,
In shape.
able to get things in, and able to get to spots
Mhm.
that you couldn't stop and get for spots. See the problem with, man, we talked about. Remember a couple months ago when the Jokers getting off in their feelings because I was out from Serbia. When I was telling you what was gonna happen with that big fat Joker, I told you what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
When you as big as a horse, when you get them legs hurt, I mean, but he don't run anyway. He like you said, can't slide his feet, can't do any of that stuff.
No.
Okay, but the thing is, he's been doing it for so many years that the reason he got that ball in his hand is so he can control the pace. He can slow it down to his pace. So same thing Luka does. It's the same game Luka plays. They keep the ball in their hand because they control the pace. Everybody else can run around with chicken head call, but they ain't going see. But they're not going to run around when they don't have the ball in their hand. And see, that's the difference. Now, that's one thing I give LeBron credit for. He was physically able to, and he put in the physical work so that it didn't look like they look.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? He didn't look like they look.
Yeah.
He was fat because again, physically he was there, and early on in his career he played defense.
Yep.
I give him credit. Again, hands up, give him credit for that. But see, these jokers here, these melanin deficient jokers, they ain't doing that.
No defense, and they out of shape. That's crazy.
No, because they play like they're a bunch of planets with moons in their gravitational pull. They don't. They look at things going around them and doing what they want them to do versus you showing again, like you were saying, like I'm glad you brought up Moses Malone. People, again, not old enough, don't really realize how great Moses Malone was.
Facts.
Like they really don't know. Like look, the 83 Sixers were a problem.
Yeah.
And the reason was because he put Kareem in a box. I watched that. I watched that. I watched it happen. You know, in that final, it wasn't even fun. They swept them. They swept them.
That's crazy.
Again, but it started with defense. It started with defense. But you can't have this. I wrote it in the chat. You can't have do as I say, not as I do leadership. If your leader is that way, eventually, people gonna notice. And like you said, they not running through a wall for you. Because then they realize you're treating them like a battering ram instead of we in this together. We're assaulting this wall together. And that's the biggest problem. They don't understand that, you know, I mean, I guess they hadn't played in too many teams. I'm sorry. If I'm out here busting my behind on the hardest part of the game, which is always defense, and you're not, and you're supposed to be my leader. Man, you like an officer staying in a 5-star hotel, and I'm out here in a foxhole getting shot at.
You
see what I'm saying? So
exactly.
That's just human nature. How much respect am I, and how much am I really gonna do when after a while, me and my buddies up here getting chopped up, you in there getting room service. You know what I'm saying? It's below zero out here. You going to the sauna.
You gotta be willing to do what you're instructing your troops to do, and you
gotta be in the same mind.
You gotta show me you gotta show me you doing it too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But see, look, again, with this generation and stuff, they don't, for some reason, all these narratives, like you said, false narratives. They got all these narratives, and like you up here putting this dude in categories that he don't deserve. Like even Larry Bird, they try to make it like people look.
Larry Bird made 3 all defensive teams. 3. He made 3 all defensive teams. Jokic ain't never been on one of them, not even close.
But you know what he didn't do? he didn't take the ball out of Dennis Johnson's hand.
Sure didn't.
Right? But he and if you also look about him, he moved.
Yeah.
It wasn't fast, but damn, was it effective.
Mm-hmm.
He knew how to move. I'll put it was fast enough when he needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
He stole the ball.
Yeah.
He rebounded on the defensive end.
He competed. He competed on both ends too.
And he competed on both
Jokic
ends.
competed on offense. He's not competing on defense. He's just there.
Right.
That he's not competing.
He's like, yeah, it's like so like when you like even like for real when they make they make all these comparisons with these players and they're like, y'all are just watching these YouTube clips and y'all really have not watched film before. Mm-hmm. Because if you weren't just so fixated on the ball, if you were watching the game, you'd actually understand like I mean, to be honest with you, you remember Mikal before he got hurt? Do you remember how great Mikal was before he got hurt?
Yeah, I don't remember when he got hurt, but I know how great he was.
Man, see, but Mikal was a master on the block.
He was, yeah.
Right, he didn't have to sit out there and play all. But when he needed to, when Bird got hurt, he started expanding his game. But then he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You say he went like a year, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
But the point, I guess what I'm saying is, don't put that dude on leave him right where he's at, or put him on the top, on the left. But don't fall for it for the okie doke. Don't put him over there. He's on the side he belongs. That's his work. He earned that.
All right.
Those are his troops over there.
Say less.
Those are his troops.
That's his kingdom.
All right, brother, man.
All right, man.
Also,
yeah.
Congratulations, for all y'all for the studio.
Yeah. You seen it?
First off, I seen it because I ain't trying to put your business street, but I told you about coveting Goofy's wife.
You sure
I told you about. I told you about coveting Goofy's wife.
You sure did. I forgot about that.
Keep it up. Yeah, I told you about that.
That was funny, man. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Hey, man. That's for y'all, man. Y'all, the members, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? We using that money to upgrade everything, man. So I appreciate y'all being members, man, for sure.
No, brother. Hey, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
growing this thing and moving it forward. That's what it's all. That's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we gotta support each other, especially as brothers and as veterans. We gotta support each other.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Right?
Yep.
All right, brother, man.
All right, thanks.
Y'all have a good one.
Yep.
Later.
A well-cooked pork chop is nice, and the other P is best served raw. Remember that. Super chats came in. The fall guy. That's why Michael Malone was fired, because he made Jokic triple-doubles more important than raising championship banners. Yeah, I mean, because they ran trouble ball more after he won it than they did when they made the championship run. And Mike Malone was really concerned about Jokic getting that MVP as well, because he spoke about it on several occasions while he was the coach. And I was like, why is that even, like, you've never heard Wemby's coach, Cade's coach, Jaylen Brown's coach, or SGA's coach mention the triple-double. I mean, mention the MVP. In all the years that they've been in the running, their coach is not talking about it. The only person that was talking about the MVP was Mike Malone. That was the only coach, and it was insane. Nino, what's up?
What's going on, man?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts?
Me and you had a conversation earlier, and I asked you a question. You said you didn't know.
Oh, shoot. When? How much earlier?
It was like it was like the earlier this year.
Okay.
And we was talking about the last time Jokic was played, the way he was played this time was when they played the White Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, superstars, right?
Yeah.
I go back to AI. And y'all was so good. The teams kept, okay, we'll go to Shaq first. They kept guys on the roster to at least make Shaq work as much as he could. Was they gonna stop him? No. They
No.
kept a guy like that for AI on the roster.
Yeah.
They kept a guy for Kobe. They kept Roger Bell, Tony Evans. They couldn't play really, couldn't even
Mhm.
play offense to make them work. They kept Boris Diaz and
Kobe stoppers.
Iguodala's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they kept guys for Brown that was big and strong. They can move. They probably couldn't even do that good.
Yeah.
Jokic, it seemed like he ain't get that respect of, or is the coaches, because we talked about this, like, why don't they keep guys on the roster for these guys to make them work like Rudy Gobert did? Did he stop them every play? Did he shut them down every game? No. But he ain't never worked that hard since Dwight Howard.
No.
Because of everybody's small ball.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you play small ball against Jokic if they saying he's the best player in the world?
Yeah. And furthermore, this is a guy who wants to pass. Right. So when you get guys like what like Kevin Durant who wants to score, you got to kind of play a mind game with a little bit. And like the way they send in double teams at Kevin Durant in his Lakers series is messing with his head because he don't feel good if he's not scoring points. So getting the ball out of his hand and making somebody else do it, at some point Kevin Durant's going to try to force it because he needs to score to feel like Kevin Durant. Well, Jokic is the opposite. He likes to pass either more than he likes to score or equal. So when you double him, you playing right into his hands. He get everybody involved. When you don't double him, he don't want to go down there and go get 60 to win. He really wants to distribute the ball too. Right. So when you don't double and he don't get a chance to do that, he don't feel like himself. Right. That's what he been doing for 82 games all this season, is distributing and picking his spots when he score, get a triple-double, and hiding on defense. Well, Minnesota made him play defense and made him play one-on-one ball with no doubles. And that's basically how you make him play left-handed.
That's a fact. You taking one dimension out. You might give up 28 points,
Mm-hmm.
but you taking one dimension out and you wearing them down.
Yep.
But I didn't know. I got to give y'all credit. I gave Bruce his credit. I've been watching Jokic, and for some reason, maybe you can break it down to me. I couldn't tell his defense. I ain't never seen him get attacked at the rim maybe this bad in the playoffs, where it's like they searching him out and they going directly at him. Did they see something? Because the people telling me that is Gordon that's missing, and he been making up a lot for the rim protection. But without Gordon, it's like a free fall to the best.
Of course it is, but
I didn't know.
But that's been. I know they seen it on film because I seen it years ago. Like we've all known that. I'm trying to figure out why they're just now attacking him in that way. Right, just get to the paint. Right, so I'm glad they did see it, because if they would have kept playing the rest of this series like they played game one, they probably was gonna go home. But once they said, man, let's just get to the rim, he's not gonna block it. That changed the whole series.
He's not gonna block it.
He's not even gonna jump.
Going bad. And Michael Porter Jr. You called it.
Yeah.
You called it, man.
Yeah.
And have you ever seen a MVP caliber guy in his prime? Is it what I'm getting at? And I ain't got nothing against the overseas player. I think they good for the game in a sense.
Yeah.
But these guys are getting a little bit exposed in their prime as, I ain't calling them soft, I'm saying defense-wise, they getting attacked here lately. You got Luka in the playoffs against Boston, and you got Jokic now. You got Sengun was getting attacked, but Aiden's still doing good.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
Known for defense.
You're right. And the league is resetting right now. The league is going through a change right now. Defense is going to become more of a focal point again, and it's going to start purging some of that stuff that kind of was ruining basketball in the NBA is going to start purging it out, starting with the players that don't participate on the defensive end. I say this though. I call it DMX in the game, right? And the reason why I call it that is because I don't remember if you remember what hip hop was like before DMX came, but when Puff Daddy got on top and the Bad Boy, and he had Mace in them shiny suits and they was dancing in the videos, then he put Locks in them shiny suits and had Carl Thomas out there. Puff Daddy was making hip hop gay again, MAGA, right? And DMX came along, and that streak and that grime and that toughness and that thug, he brought it back. You know, it died with Tupac. Man. DMX came in and DMX the game, and we ain't seen nothing like it. I mean, we was watching shiny suits for 4 or 5 years, and then DMX came in and just strong on the game. That's what's going to happen with the NBA. It got weak and floppy and no defense, and you know, all that stuff was going on. And you know, the guys like Puff Daddy was able to rise to the top, just like Luka and Jokic was able to rise to the top in his cupcake era. But now you're getting people like Anthony Edwards and McDaniels and guys like that, SGA coming in, and they're DMX in the game. Wemby, the way he talking, they DMX in the game and they resetting it back to its proper way, and you go see that change.
But ain't this gonna go? I agree with you saying. I like it because that'll give the balance that we need. But ain't this gonna go against the superstar method for what they've been trying to do with the Euros? Which, like I said, I ain't got nothing against them, but it's been set up for them to come over. Since the Euro step made it over here, it's been set up for them to kind of succeed in a way where they can get away with not being athletic. Mm-hmm. And the athletic always normally had the advantage, the big, the strong. But now they bigs are not athletic, but they are fundamental, and they got that they got the fundamentals for the bigs. But the way the game is played, it helps them not being athletic. Where if the game you talking about, that non-athletic system gonna be a little rough. Mm. If you better move on defense, you gonna get attacked, and it's gonna be bad.
Yeah. Yep. And then somebody, another Shaq go come in the league, and then it's gonna be over.
It's gonna be over.
Another Shaq is coming. Trust me, it's gonna happen, man. It's like an eclipse, man. Another Shaq is coming. We'll be like, oh shoot,
it's gonna be the end of that.
Then post play gonna be back. Yeah, post play will go. Look, I'm telling you, the NBA is the style that we watched in the '90s and early 2000s is coming back, just like bell bottoms and clogs. You know what I mean? They go out of style for a little while, but just put them in your closet. Don't take them to Goodwill. Just keep them. They'll be back in style in about 10, 15 years. Trust me.
Hey, I like it. Now, my last thing though, Mel, is where maybe you either agree or school me on. Is this my theory to why I say these guys are more, today's game players are more skilled. To me, the Timberwolves are a perfect example. And when people say more skilled, I think, because now I played basketball with the older guys a long time. So when I say more skilled, I think they take it as a shot. But what I really mean is they are allowed to play. Because I know Patrick Ewing had a meeting. Mm-hmm. That wasn't allowed. I knew that Isaiah Thomas had them Kyrie handles. He from Chicago. He from the motherland. But that wasn't looked upon. So what I think we are trying to say is more guys are allowed to get busy. Like McDaniel, if two players would have went down back then, certain systems allow for you still play the same way. Throw it into go burn, even though McDaniels over here can get busy. I know they had players because Chris Jackson, Chris Jackson. I know he was still killing. Mm-hmm. He can go for Mississippi. I know what he was. Mm-hmm. I know Big Al could play stretch basketball because I seen him do it in high school, but they the game was played different. He was back to the basket, they go to post. So what I think most of us mean that actually watch the games, they are allowed to do more, which plays into the hands of these guys. They weren't allowed to. When we came up, man, at point guard, and you said you was a shooter, I was a shooter. We could come down and shoot every shot. The ball had to go through the post first. We probably wanted to shoot it. But these guys are allowed to do more today. They allowed to get more busy. If that makes sense.
No, I mean, it's more leeway, and it might look like they're more skilled, but it's people had that skill. Everything that we're seeing displayed in the NBA now, people had that skill, but that's they just played way smarter back then. Like
now that is
Tim Duncan, like you probably didn't see half of his game. Right, like now that's for real. Like David Robinson, Hakeem, you didn't see half of the game, especially the centers and the bigs. Half of the game that they had, they put on the shelf. They didn't even use it because why would I use my perimeter skills when I got perimeter players? And why that's important is because if I'm 7 foot and I'm playing perimeter basketball, my perimeter players can't interchangeably go play post basketball. So why am I going to come and take their territory? You get what I'm saying? That's just like if
I get it.
Yeah. Like if
right.
Everybody's supposed to have roles. If you got a team, and I'm really good at 2 things on a team, but you're only good at one thing. Like we run a business together. Hey, I might can do the books, and I might be real good at ordering parts, but you're only good at ordering parts. You can't do the books. Imagine me telling you, well, I'm doing both. I'm ordering parts and doing the books. You need to figure out how to get in where you fit in. I'm gonna do both. That's not how you do a team. I order the parts, you do the books. Easy day.
It's a fact.
Right. Why consolidate that into one person? That's called working harder, not smarter. Working smarter would say, I got one player, I got one person that can do this, and he's specializing in that. So you specialize in that. Just because I specialize in both of them don't mean I get to do both of them.
You got to do it.
Man. Right.
And it seems like it's coaching to where it's I don't know, coaching, AAU. When I watch it, I'm no expert in the NBA. I don't tell them guys, but when I watch it, it's exactly what you're saying. They didn't mesh everything together, and that would have made it work. Like, okay, you can get a little bit more leeway, but still have the smartness. Like you saying, Shaq could bring the ball back when he was younger. But they didn't encourage that. Some of this stuff they encourage, like them 3-point. Listen, and I'm in the middle. I'm 34, but I come from that where I'm still brought up on the principles. Them 3-point fast break threes. That's the stupid stuff that they ain't like. Y'all got it. Y'all everybody can jump high. Everybody could boogie and get a basket every now and then. But man, some of the fundamental that we come up on,
I
don't know if it's the analytics. And I heard the player talking about this. Fred VanVleet said, if you say you come in and you working on your mid range or you in the game, say they got a guy pulling you to the side. So I'm not putting all of it on players. They said Fred said this. They got a guy pulling you to the side. I said, hey man, 3 better than 2.
Yeah.
So where everybody's on the players, this stuff is getting told to them.
No, that's true. That's facts. And it's coming from the top too. It's definitely coming from the president of basketball operations and the GM. But for some teams, it's coming from the owner as well. Like when Mark Cuban was with Dallas. And that driving the analytics was coming from him as well. Mark Cuban was real involved in his team and how they played, and he was a real huge analytic guy. So it was coming from the top of the top in Dallas, and that's why Rick Carlisle.
Mark Cuban?
Yes, Mark Cuban on several podcasts has talked about how important analytics is for his team. And he talked about how some of the game plan, even when Rick Carlisle was coaching Dirk and Jason Kidd and they won the championship, Mark Cuban was now he wasn't big into analytics at that juncture, but he was involved in the game planning. Like he I don't know if you remember when he went on ESPN to sit down with Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless was talking a lot of junk about him in Dallas.
He could skip.
Yeah, but he remember when he was explaining to him, because there was Skip Bayless was trying to dog LeBron James, and Mark Cuban was like, why you just can't give us credit for what we did? And when Mark Cuban was explaining their game plan on defense, and he talked about how him and the coaches came up with their game plan, I'm like, why the hell was Mark Cuban involved in that?
Yeah, I thought that was, now listen, man, I thought that was, are you sure he wasn't just include? I thought he was just including himself like we. You saying that he?
No, Mark Cuban is heavily Mark Cuban. Mark. Now, when he first said it on Skip Bayless' show, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's not really involved, but then he went on the podcast the same year that he signed Kyrie Irving from Brooklyn. And he went on the podcast and he was explaining how Luka and Kyrie was going to coexist the next season together, and how he talked to Kyrie and told him what their game plan was and their philosophy. And he was describing, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, he is involved in it. Right. And when he explained what his idea was, he was like, well, he did it for LeBron, he can do it for Luka. He was like, Kyrie understands that this is Luka's team, and if he needs to go stand in the corner, he'll stand in the corner. And he was like, let Luka handle everything and draw the double teams, and then once he get the ball up, we playing 4-on-3 after the pass. That's their whole philosophy. That's their offense. Let Luka run rampant. Everybody else go stand in the corners, and Luka and the screener at the top of the key. And once the double comes, Luka gets the ball up, and that's their offense, 4-on-3. That's how he explained it.
My case thing, I didn't know that.
That's how he explained it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I didn't know that.
Triple-double basketball and analytic driven offense is coming from the tippy top. But because before that, team owners, they couldn't come in no daggone locker room and tell Pat Riley or Phil Jackson what to do with their offense. They can't do that to Popovich, right? But now what they're doing is they're hiring guys as coaches who believe in analytics. And now I'm a team owner, and I do everything. I run my business with analytics. So now I can sit down and talk to my coach about the game, because we can speak the analytic language. I can't speak basketball, right? If I'm a team owner, I don't know basketball well enough to speak it to a guy like Pat Riley, who played it his whole life at a high level and coached it at a high level. Like I can't even be in the same room talking with them. But if I hire JJ Redick, who believes in freaking analytics, then Mark Cuban can sit down with JJ Redick and they can have a good old time.
Well, I heard too many players say it to not believe it. And I know I done heard KD said, Bron said they taught him as soon as he made it through the door. And they started it, said, man, you either want to lay up or you need to shoot 3 or pass the ball 2-3. I heard friends say it. I heard Carmelo say they told him, listen, they told one of the best mid-range shooters from my era that, and Melo said they told him, hey man, we don't shoot that no more.
Yeah. Don't worry about it though. DMX coming. And his name is SGA. When he get another ring, shooting mid ranges.
But what is, like, they not saying that? What is it's a copycat. Okay, explain this.
Yeah,
I'm gone.
Let him win one more. They'll copy.
Okay, well, he need one more for them to, because I'm like, hey, y'all seeing this guy? Did y'all see Tyrese Halliburton last year? Traditional point guard. So you saying get Dartman one more year and they gonna get
DMX coming. Don't worry about it. DMX coming.
All right, because 3-point shooting, man.
All right, Nino.
All right, man.
All right,
appreciate the call, man. All right.
$5 super chat. Appreciate you, Damo. If I'm Jokic and McDaniels been talking crazy to me all series, no way in hell I'm letting him keep getting downhill for all those uncontested layups. Man, preach. $10 super chat. Engineer, what's up, big dog? The late night show with Man Down Sports. Keep it up. No doubt. I'm gonna try to keep it up, especially for the playoffs for sure. Who was this in here? Coach Quab. Analytics works, but it's being used completely wrong. Explain that to me. Because using analytics in general, we did about maybe 65 years of NBA basketball without analytics, right? 65 years of basketball period without analytics, or more than 65 years, because basketball was being played before the NBA was made, right? So we didn't have analytics to create the game. We didn't have analytics to play the game for years. Analytics is just a new thing that people are using. And what it really does is it gives non-basketball players a seat at the table. Because I'm going to do a show on this probably this weekend or maybe tomorrow. Who knows? I was listening to Tim Hardaway on his podcast, and I think he had Grant Long and some other guy, Lindsey Hunter, that was on the, talking about analytics and how much they hate it. And they was talking about how it would be non-basketball guys and organizations that would really be trying to speak as authority figures and tell former NBA players turned coach or turned GM, trying to explain to them how something should go. And the player is looking like, man, who the hell are you with them freaking geek glasses on talking about freaking VORP? If you don't get the fuck out of my face with that nonsense, right? So that's what's really going on with analytics. Like I don't need it. Like I really don't need it. Like like why the hell do I need to look that deep? So I explain it this way, Coach. And shout out to the people that's using it. But people that's using it, it's almost like people who can do math in their head versus people who need calculators. I don't know. If you just know the work, then you just know the work. If put it this way. It's kind of hard to explain. Because I don't want to alienize people who really love analytics, man. I don't want to alienize them, but like, it's not needed, dog. It's really not, right? Like somebody like Pat Riley, who been around the game so long, somebody like Jerry West, God rest his soul, who's been around the game so long. When they go watch a kid play in high school and they're looking for someone for their program, if they dealing with college, or even back then when it's somebody like Garnett or Kobe Bryant that, just entering the draft from high school, like Jerry West looked at Kobe Bryant play one time and knew he was a superstar. He was like, I just know. That's without analytics. So if you're saying that someone is using analytics to determine who's good and who's not, no, I don't need analytics for that. All I need is the film, right? After a game, if you want to know how well your team played, you watch the film. I've yet to see a coach change the way they analyze the game the day after by saying, no, don't give me the film at all. Give me a sheet of paper with the analytics on it and give me a calculator, and I'll tell you what we did good and what we did wrong. Like, imagine not watching film after the game to determine how you're gonna make adjustments. Right? We're not watching film tonight. Right? Tomorrow we lost the game. Tomorrow I want everybody that we back in the gym 6 a.m. And when y'all get here, I'm gonna have on the freaking whiteboard analytics. And we just go over the analytics. We ain't watching no film. Can you imagine that? Right. So if analytics was so good, it should stand alone. You should be able to use analytics without nothing else. Because I can use the film without analytics. You get what I'm saying? Like, think of things that can be independent and stand alone. And you can do that for anything, right? Like, say for instance, people are confused on what's more important, scoring or assisting. And you just gotta ask yourself, okay, which one of those skill sets, number one, you have to work on to get good at? Because most good passers I know, I've never seen them get in the gym 6 a.m. and just work on he. I never seen nobody just in the gym with their trainer just no look passing, right? I've never seen that. I've never seen nobody in the gym working on no look passes, right? But I've seen people in the gym getting up 500, 600 jump shots from different spots, hand in their face, one dribble pull up, two dribble pull up, post up. I've seen that in there. So people work on the art of scoring. You can just be born with good vision and just be a good passer. You're not really working on that. So that's a telltale sign. The other telltale sign is which one of those can be done independently as a standalone, where I can score. If you give me the ball and get out of my way and it's just one guy in front of me, I can score on him without you giving me an assist. I don't need that. Give me the ball. I'm working ISO. But you can't get an assist without the person that you passing the ball to having the ability to hit that shot wherever you passed it to him at. So if you pass it to a guy that's open at 3, he's got to be able to hit that shot for you to get an assist. So assists are dependent on scoring. So that lets you know scoring is more important than assists. It's independent. So when you go back to analytics and film, I can sit down and we've watched film without analytics in basketball for 50 plus years. Never needed analytics. I can tell you everything we did wrong from the film. But if I take away the film and after the game, you just give me a stack of paper with stats, advanced stats on it, and I see VORP, PER, box plus minus, and all this unnecessary stuff, how can I tell you what to tweak and make adjustments to? That don't tell me how you was guarding the screen. They don't tell me none of that. They don't tell me if you was giving effort. It don't tell me none of that. It don't tell me what the other player, the opposing team was vulnerable. Like, he's not telling me none of that. I need film. So the analytics is just, I mean, come on, man. It can't be a standalone. Caller from New York, what's up? You're the last caller.
Yo, what's going on, man? This is Quab.
What's up, bro?
I'm the one who made that analytics comment.
Okay, all right, let's go. Let's talk.
All right, so when I say that, you actually just basically are saying the same thing that I am, is the analytics that they're using the wrong ones, or they're using it to define a player or give a player the rewards, things like that, like a team's defensive rating. A team's defensive rating, I've seen teams who give up top 10 points in the league have high defensive ratings. Mm-hmm. But it's because the other team's field goal percentage or their turnover assist ratio, the way the analytics are being used and the way that these people are coming up with these concepts, that's what's flawed. Because the shot chart is a form of analytics. And shot charts have been in video games since Bulls versus Blazers.
Right. But let me ask you this though. If you didn't have a shot chart and you watched the film, okay, so I say this. I agree with you. Analytics can save you time. Right? Analytics can save you time, because if I gotta watch a 3-hour film session to get an understanding of what happened last game, that's one thing. But if I don't have the time to watch that film and you come with a shot chart and I'll be like, shoot, we didn't even take enough shots in the paint tonight. Yeah, that can save me some time, but I'm going to find that out anyway when I watch the film. It's just going to take me longer. So analytics can save you time.
And I think that's the part, though, because I'm a big math person, and like I can't spell to save my life. But when it comes to numbers, I see numbers differently. I grew up with basketball cards, memorizing, players' stats over years and stuff like that. But like you said, when you watch a game, if a person is shooting 5 for 10 from the field, that's 50%. They look like an all-star, Hall of Famer. But if they're shooting 4 for 10, which is one less shot per game, one less make, that means that they're getting double teamed. They're taking a tougher shot. They might be tossing up a shot at the end of a quarter. Things like that are not included in the analytics. And that's where things can be flawed. Even if you look at something like Jordan shooting threes, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing I always bring up is they say Jordan is an average three-point shooter at best. If you look statistically, analytics will tell you that if he shoots less than 100 in the season, he's not shooting a good field three-point percentage. That's one attempt a game for the most part. 82 games in the season, that's one attempt a game. When he shot over 100, he was shooting at like a 38% clip. So if you take Jordan shooting what they shooting today, 300 threes, 400 threes, he's going to shoot it at a high clip. Analytics would actually tell you that Jordan is a great three-point shooter. It's just being completely read wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, that just goes to show you we don't need it, because I've never thought of Michael Jordan as a liability behind the arc. Nobody was leaving him wide open because they didn't think he could hit it. They was guarding MJ wherever he was at. They knew he was gonna hit shots. And it didn't matter if it was from 3 or from 2 or whatever the case may be. He's a scorer, right? You're not going under his screens like Rondo. So I mean, analytics is just bad for the sport. We don't need it.
It is, but I mean, film study turns into analytics. After you watch film, you're taking down notes. You have people who break down film for you. People who break down film, I think that is so important because, determining how many times you turn the ball over when you're going left compared to going right. Stuff like that, I think is very, very helpful. But again, using it to the extent that they're using it to, I gotta completely agree with you on that, is that using it to define an MVP or, to rank somebody as an all-time player, I just don't think that honestly makes sense because Kobe takes tougher shots.
Exactly, he does. And watching the film will tell you that. Now, I say this. There was a guy under one of my Jokic posts that I posted that was telling me, because I think in the short that I posted, we was talking about playing one side of the ball for Jokic. You're going to get left out of any of these GOAT debates. Like you're not going to reach the GOAT status by not playing no defense. And somebody was in the comment section telling me that you got to take Steph Curry and Bird and Magic and Shaq out of the conversation as well. I was like, dude, they play defense. Like, what are you talking about? And then he went on to tell me,
I mean, Steph Curry led the league in steals. Shaq,
sure.
3 blocks a game.
Sure. But the point is, then he went on. We had a long conversation in the comment section, and he told me, he offered some analytics to me that can prove that Jokic is a good defender. And I was like, dude, I would never even look at it. Like, because I watched the film on Jokic, and I already know the film in my eyes and my brain has told me that Jokic is a bad defender. I already know that. So there's no stat that I'm going to accept that's going to tell me different than what my eyes have seen. I have a trained eye. I love basketball. I've been around it for a long time. So I trust my eyes over the analytics. I trust my eyes. I trust my brain. Right. So I really agree. And I asked him this, and he still ain't responded to me. I asked him, I said, if you see your girlfriend kiss a dude on the lips, is there any amount of data, statistics, or analytics that she can offer you to prove that you didn't see what you just saw? Like if she started giving you measurements to kind of prove that she actually kissed his cheek and was just hugging him like a friend, well, you saw her kiss his lips. Is there anything she can offer you to change your mind? And that's how I feel about Jokic. I've seen with my own 2 eyes that he is a bad defender. There's nothing you can offer me with math, calculators, VORP, PER, box plus minus. There's nothing you can offer me that's going to change my mind that he's a bad defender. Not his 2 steals a game, not his box plus minus, not his defensive
Well, none of that, again,
win
a lot of
shares,
that is
none of
flawed.
it. None of that. Go ahead.
You've mentioned it before with because his those analytic numbers for him are flawed because, like you said before, it wasn't on today's show; it was on a different show. You said something about every time Joker comes out the game, the starters are coming out the game as well.
For the most part.
So the other two defenders that you have, you know, that's who you going up against. And it's the same thing with LeBron's plus minus. He used to do the same thing in Miami. Him and D-Wade sat on the bench a lot together.
Yep.
A lot. And that's why his plus minus, that's why his defensive rating looks so high. So we've seen it before.
No, that's a fact.
It's just that nobody wants to point it out when it's a superstar because it's negativity towards their name.
No, that's facts. That's a fact. But I understand, but analytics has a place. You know what I mean? It can save you time for sure. But it's not to be relied on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can't rely on it.
Scouting reports, player development. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. But all right, man. Appreciate it.
Understanding your play. Yeah, y'all take care, man. Be safe.
All right. Yeah, thanks. All right, y'all. That's it, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'll catch y'all tomorrow's Friday. So full panel tomorrow, Friday. And I might go live early before the full panel. So y'all might get 2 shows tomorrow. We'll see what I'm doing for time, but appreciate y'all for being in here, man. Catch you on the next one. Peace.